pronunciation, please forgive me in advance. It's been a long time since I attended French class. I'm Kathleen Robert. I want to welcome you all here. I currently serve as the president of the Women's Guild of the New Orleans Opera, and currently you're right now standing in the Women's Guild home, which is the only home in the Garden District that is open to the public for tours. On behalf of my co-chair, Dr. Erin Fleming, otherwise known as Ben Franklin's wife tonight, and the members of the Women's Guild who are here with us, some of them are here with us tonight, I want to thank you and welcome you to our historic home, the Women's Guild home. We were formed in 1937. The mission of the Women's Guild is pretty simple. It's to manage this historic home, support opera education and productions of New Orleans opera, whenever it gets produced and on stage in whatever format that we show it. At the time of Lafayette's return tour, there were two opera houses here in New Orleans, and he attended both of those operas. They had special operas while he was here. One of them, I'm probably going to destroy the pronunciation. It was called The Prisoner of Olmutz in his honor.
You did that perfectly.
Did I said it right?
Great job.
Thank you. And one of the things when I was doing a little research on Lafayette, and I found an opera. I found out, I'm going to butcher this, Lindsay was trying to help me with the pronunciation. Beethoven's Fidelio. Did I say that?
Yeah. Bravo.
Thank you. It actually was an opera theoretically based on the Marquis de Lafayette and his wife during his time in Austria. And then a little interesting tidbit. So I would like to give a special and warm welcome to our honored guests that are with us tonight. General Vincent Kitzpotter and his wife, Countess Helene Kitzpotter. Thank you for being here. I don't think he's here, but it's possible. I did not see him walk in. The French Consul General of New Orleans, the Honorable Rodolphe Sambeau. Did he attend? I did not see him.
He's living right across, right?
He's not away. He's right there.
Another block.
Literally, yes. But I hope I don't butcher this, and I really apologize. Madame Virginie Bourgeois de Poussy de Gautier de Lafayette. Thank you for being here. I said it all. I had to try out everything for you. Yes. Oh, and I lost my place just now. Well, of course, we have our Executive Director of American Friends of Lafayette, Chuck Swan. And his wife, Bonnie. And then, of course, I could not do this without introducing Denise Bennett. Here she is.
Yay, bravo!
Your AFL Louisiana co-chairs, and John's wife, Roxanne, who's here somewhere. And of course, because this is the Opera Guild home, our board president, Emmett Beery, is here. And
Where is he?
there he is. He's waiting. So we're quite excited to have with us this evening a headlining opera star, who hails from New Orleans. So we're very proud, Miss Lindsay Reynolds. She will delight us with her gorgeous voice. You will really be entertained. It's beautiful. Later this evening, after we replay the events of 200 years ago, and I would like to thank Carol Roche too. There she is. She's hiding back there. So she is accompanying Miss Reynolds, and without her, we would not have Lindsay with us tonight. So we owe Carol a lot for this. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very fortunate this evening because we have Ben Franklin and the Marquis de Lafayette. And they're going to reminisce a little bit. Go down memory lane for you all. And so I enthusiastically give the floor to these two gentlemen. Is it on? You got to come really close to it.
Pretty close to mine.
Very close. On the chin.
You're good.
All right, my name is Ben Franklin. I've said that my face is familiar as the face of the moon. And I was a printer publisher an editor, inventor statements, and I enjoyed intellectual and scientific conversations. I left Philadelphia to stay in London because that's where the what I thought was the intellectual inventions were. And while I was there, I was both an agent of the colonies and a proponent of mutual compromise for the benefit of the Crown and the colonies. The Americans said I was too British, and the British said I was too American. Once the Stab Act was passed and the Boston Tea Party occurred, I was ridiculed by the Crown and hastily left London for Philadelphia, where I was an author and signee of the Declaration of Independence. Now I'm a true patriot. And then I became the Continental Congress ambassador to France, which I found most enjoyable. Until at least John Adams showed up. And we had to get him back home. I was 70 years old then, and my 16-year-old grandson Temple and my 7-year-old grandson Ben accompanied me. And Temple was to assist me in my further activities, and Ben was to further his education. Of course, my real mission was to garner France's support in our cause for independence from Great Britain. The first time I met the Marquis de Lafayette, I was in Paris, and as I recall, I was at a Mason's Lodge in December of '76, I think, a long time ago. His name, of course, is Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Roche Gilbert de Montier, the Marquis de Lafayette. He was named after every known saint. And everybody had knowledge of his family and ancestry. I understand you joined the army when you were 14. You were commissioned.
13 to be
13.
true.
Oh, good, good. I knew he was financially well off, and I knew that he was named after all the saints because his father was killed by those wretched British, right? I knew he was well off, and I knew that he had a good income, and I was a little surprised he wanted to leave France to help our cause. But let's not be dismayed. He was just a boy, a tall on the thin side.
I have shrunk since 1776.
As he was only 18, he had more in common with my grandson Temple than I did. He did express his remarkable enthusiasm, a zeal for the notion of a country being founded on the principles of individuality, liberty, and self-rule. He made it clear to me that he wanted to join us, wanting to fight in the Continental Army with George Washington. Like I had done for others, wishing to aid our cause, I provided him a letter of introduction to George. And off he went to service. France finally supported our cause for independence as the British battlefield defeats became a reality. And King Louis ultimately awarded us roughly $20 billion. I found that hard to believe that that was a lot of money.
War is expensive, my friend.
However, it was General Lafayette who became arguably the single most important individual who made the difference in turning the fight for independence into victories, especially at the Battle of Yorktown. That was spectacular.
Vive Lafayette! Vive Lafayette!
That was the final and decisive victory, and thus the difference in the war for independence. The newly formed the United States owed him a great deal, and perhaps most everything. But now here we are, 1824, 1825. General Lafayette has undertaken this trip to visit all 24 states. That's a lot back in those days. There were no trains. I unfortunately died 35 years earlier. First trip.
Speak exceptionally well.
But I do know that in 1825, Grosvenor Park was renamed and dedicated to General Lafayette. With thunderous cheers, and although I've never visited New Orleans, there was a statue of me placed at that park. In New Orleans, as the city is known to do, moved my original statue to a school that bears my name. I unfortunately, a replica was reinstalled, but it's there. And it's on the, facing the courthouse for some reason. But as they say, the rest is history. And just as I had the honor back in 250 years ago of arranging a presentation to George Washington, it is my honor to present you to our fellow welcomers. It is now my honor again to present to you Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Roche Gilbert du Montier, the Marquis of General
I thank you, Dr. Franklin, and I thank all of you in attendance here this evening. You know, when I first heard of this noble cause of American freedom back in 1775, I became inspired to take part in it. I wanted to serve in this noble cause, for in truth I thought it was a war like none other in the history of man. It was a war of great ideas, of the freedom, of the liberation of mankind. A war that had embraced the ideas of the great thinkers of this enlightened age, this age of reason. Men like Voltaire, Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Locke. Representation in government of an equality of mankind. And that is when I first heard of this great cause. So thus I began to plan to come to America in some way, shape, or form. Now, we all heard of the arrival of the great Dr. Franklin. As I recall, he entered into Versailles, where Louis XVI ruled, but fashion was king. And what did he wear upon his person? As I recall, the simplest of clothing. He wore a gray homespun suit, and atop his head he wore a fur cap. Indeed, he became the embodiment of what all Frenchmen thought Americans were. Frontiersmen. Yeah. In fact, it became commonplace to put an image of Monsieur Franklin above your hearth for good luck. Now he tells all of us, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yet I dare say, Dr. Franklin, most of your diplomacy was conducted betwixt the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. Yes, indeed. I recall your air baths as well. But nonetheless, my friends, it is to his credit, for what he had accomplished was the most important event up to that point. He had negotiated for the Treaty of Alliance with France. It would be in February of 1778 that France would be the first nation in the world to recognize the United States of America as its own free and independent nation. And then France would declare war upon her age-old enemy, that of England. Yes. So thus, my dear friends, you're ready to fight again, Juliet. So thus, my dear friends, it went from a revolt, a rebellion, a civil war of sorts, to a world war, in which battles would be fought across the globe, from the subcontinent of India, to Africa, to the West Indies, to Europe itself, and at the same time, she would try to put down this rebellion here in North America. That is an important factor, my dear friends, because that, in essence, would be the cause of the defeat of England during the war. The assistance of France cannot be overstated. For French money, French material, French soldiers, and French ships, under the guidance of General Jean-Baptiste dans l'ancienne Vimeur, le Comte de Rochambeau, and Admiral de Grasse, would bring our victory at Yorktown. So we are indebted to Dr. Franklin. As I recall, when you first came to France and to Versailles and presented yourselves, other American ambassadors had joined you. There was, of course, Silas Deane from Connecticut. He would be the gentleman that would bestow upon me what he called a promissory note, promising that if I, the Marquis de Lafayette, were to come to America, I would be granted the rank of Major General. Now the problem is that Monsieur Dean was giving promissory notes to everyone. Now you'll find this hard to believe, but some men lied about their experience. Yes, I know it's hard to believe. In fact, there was one man that reported to Congress that could not differentiate between a river and a road on a map. Would you like him in command of you?
No.
Of course not. Of course, you briefly spoke of Monsieur Adams. Indeed, Monsieur Adams. I recently met with him up at his home at Quincy. And as I recall, it was he and Monsieur Jefferson who once said of me that I had a canine appetite for popularity. But regardless, Monsieur Adams was a fish out of water. He did not take to the customs at Versailles. You will also find this hard to believe. When he went to Versailles, he actually asked for what he wanted. Can you imagine? He asked for what he wanted. He did not play the game that was so necessary. But you, Dr. Franklin, you are truly a chameleon. You are a great man. You shall always be remembered in this great history of this great country as one of its greatest founding fathers. And to all my dear friends, let us raise our glass to Dr. Franklin.
Viva Lafayette.
Well, thank you, Dr. Franklin. Yes.
I understand that you were asked to be the governor of Louisiana the first time you were here.
Yes, Dr. Franklin comments upon the fact that I was asked, once Louisiana became a state in 1812, that I was requested to become governor of that said state. Well, of course, during 1812, monsieur, in France we were embroiled in the Napoleonic Wars. In fact, it was Emperor Napoleon that was embarking upon a grand campaign in June of 1812 to invade Russia itself. And so I had, in essence, retired to private life from 1802 until 1815 with the fall of Bonaparte, and then I would return to politics. So I had to decline the great and honorable offer of becoming governor of this great state. But you know, in this year of 2000, forgive me, everybody keeps calling it 2025. I don't know why, but it becomes contagious to me. As if I am living in the future. But everyone in this year of 18 and 25 has suggested perhaps I try to become governor again. What do you think? Those in Louisiana? Should I become governor? Well, my dear friends, we are looking forward to some delightful music, some delightful opera, for the company of one another, of conversation, of good food, of good drink. My return back to America has inspired me in so many ways. It has reminded me of why I came to America in the first place. It has reminded me of how far America still needs to go. But it has also reminded me of the friendship between our two great nations, that of France and that of America. So, dear friends, I hope this evening we will remember history, because I am a firm believer that all of the answers to the future might be found in the past if we remember our history. So thank you for joining Dr. Franklin and myself on this glorious occasion.
At this time, it would be my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Lindsay Reynolds. She's a very talented star in our midst. She's a native New Orleanian, graduate of New Orleans Center of Creative Arts, and she's a wonderful fine arts school. She holds a bachelor and master's degrees from the Curtis Institute of Music, where she studied with renowned teacher Marlena Maes. She recently completed her apprenticeship as a member of the prestigious Ryan Center Ensemble at the Lyric Opera of Chicago. Here in New Orleans, last weekend, Miss Reynolds made her New Orleans debut as Adina in the Elixir of Love. And you'll find it, her singing very, very intoxicating. Miss Reynolds has a commitment to both traditional and contemporary opera. Earlier this season, she made her debut with the Opera Philadelphia as Ashley Devon in the U.S. premiere of Missy Manzoli and Royce Vaverick, The Listeners. And in June, we'll perform in the world premiere of She Who Dared at Chicago Opera Theater. Let me introduce to you Miss Lindsay Reynolds.
Today, Carol and I would like to start with Padre Germania Dio from Idomeneo, composed by Mozart.
Vendetta, gelosia,
Adieu, notre petite table. I'm working on my French.
Allons, il faut pour lui-même. Pauvre chalet, oh oui, c'est lui que j'aime, et pourtant j'hésite aujourd'hui. Non, non, je ne suis plus digne de lui. J'entends cette voix qui m'entraîne contre ma volonté. Oh non, tu seras reine, reine. Oh là je ne suis que faiblesse et que fragilité. Oh, malgré moi, je sens couler mes larmes devant ce rêve effacé. Les lèvres
thing we're going to be singing is Prendi from L'Elisir d'Amore, the Elixir of Love we just did last weekend. So hope you enjoy. And this one is a little bit more happy. Especially at the end.
Roberts and Aaron Fleming come to the piano for me, please? On behalf of the American Friends of Lafayette, Louisiana, please accept our heartfelt thanks for hosting us in this beautiful house with beautiful, delicious food and with beautiful entertainment. We are so grateful for the Women's Opera Guild and to our committee chair of the Women's Opera Guild portion, Kathleen Roberts. Thank you so much.
Express our heartfelt appreciation for just the pleasure, not only just the great work they've done, but the pleasure of getting to work with these two wonderful ladies. Thank you both so much. I appreciate everything you've done and your friendship.
We're glad we can have everyone here.
We would like to take advantage of this opportunity because there was a gentleman earlier that Kathleen recognized that he has spent the last several days with us. Today is his last evening before heading back home to New York and eventually to France. We had the honor of having the wonderful Brigadier General Vincent de Kitzpotter, his lovely wife, Countess Helene. And he General, we can't tell you what a pleasure it was to have you these past several days. It just made everything please accept just this small token of our appreciation of Lafayette, and hope you will always have fond memories of your time here in Nouvelle-Orléans.
Thank you so very much indeed. I just want to say, Helen and I, we are so much grateful, so very grateful, and over the moon today. But you know what? We're waiting for you in Paris and Versailles.
Vive la France!